It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning. It is Sarah and Diana again. Ethan is still gone. And we are in a unique setup. I'm actually shooting from my cell phone, which I've literally never done. So if we look different or sound different, this is our troubleshooting. Welcome.
You know what? We're working with what we got, Sarah. I'm still in my jammies.
I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Good morning.
It's so good. You guys, it feels like a Friday, but it's not quite. So Just bear with us, okay? Because we do have news and it's interesting news. So here we go. Are you ready for this? If absentee voting is any indicator, and it is, we might surpass the local 2020 numbers in this year's election, which is something else. Greene County leaders say about 4% of voters in the county have already cast their ballot. In 2020, the clerk says about 10% of registered voters in the county voted absentee, but there's still a lot of time between now and then, so like 3 weeks almost. With no excuse absentee voting beginning this Tuesday, Shane Scholler says we could very well surpass our 2020 record election numbers. All of this while the not needing an excuse to go vote early is still a fairly new option in Missouri.
Wow. Well, and speaking of elections, there's the ride service like Uber and whatnot, but not Uber, it's Lyft. They are offering deals and discounts to people to get to the polls on November 5th. And even before, if needed for early voting. So you can get 50% off your ride as part of what they call a voter access program. So you have no excuse not to get to the polls. In its own study, Lyft said that transportation is a big factor for people not being able to vote. They simply just can't get there. And if you type in the discount code VOTE, VOTE -24, on your Lyft app, you'll see that the half price to your polling place offer is there. So thanks to Lyft. Get to the polls.
Like you said, no excuse not to. 116 people are now calling Springfieldian home, new Springfieldians, or at least in the area. Missouri State University had a naturalization ceremony yesterday for these new U.S. citizens who must really announce their allegiance to this country and denounce allegiance to their former country, which always gets me. Anytime I've been to a ceremony, it is like, oh, wow, I can't even imagine. But they are super excited to be here. They came from 40 countries all around the globe. So congratulations to all.
Wow. What a neat thing. Well, the threat of an earthquake is actually in our state. And today, a drill will take place so that we can hopefully be better prepared just in case. America's second most active fault line runs through southeast Missouri. The New Madrid fault line is right there. And we have between a 20 and 40% chance of a big earthquake hitting Missouri in the next 50 years. That according to geologists. You can sign up for the drill today. It starts at 10:15 this morning. So just sign up online at shake, SHAKE, out.org. That will get you some useful tips and information. And Sarah, I have to say this. I'm usually not one like for doomsdays and stuff, but I checked the added policy on my insurance for earthquake. Like we're paying more for our homeowners insurance in case there's an earthquake.
Yeah. I feel like that is wisdom. That is wisdom.
I don't know. I mean, when you take it into consideration of how much it would be to replace your home if it is damaged by an earthquake, you might consider that before premiums go up.
Yeah, seriously. We recently drove through Southeast Missouri. I was speaking in Cape Girardeau. So we were down there and I was like, ooh, we are in earthquake territory right now. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing happened, of course, but you never know.
You never know.
All right. This is something else I did not know. We are in flu season.
No.
I forgot about flu season. I got to be honest with you. You know why? It's because I've known a couple people recently who had COVID. And I literally was like, oh yeah, and flu. There's that too. Like that's a thing.
Wow.
So just now, Springfield Greene County Health Department started hosting the dashboard system which is like the online system of tracking the number of active flu cases in our area. So they just kicked that off, and they say right now about 15 cases have been reported over the last 2 weeks.
I just thought it was too early for flu season. I mean, I literally just had my well check at my doctor, and I said, should I get a flu shot? And she actually said no, because it was, and now this was like a couple weeks ago, but she said, no, it's usually too early. You need to wait till like November, December, January. So I'm kind of curious of that. That's interesting.
Well, I know sometimes by waiting, well, I'm a terrible doctor, so I shouldn't pretend to be one on the podcast. But they can better nail down like what they think
the strands.
Yeah,
right?
The strand might be, right? Is that right?
Yeah. I think so.
It's been a hot minute since I've interviewed a doctor.
We're pretty much medical doctors right here. Just kidding. We're not.
Your dad is one. So does that count? I feel like that should count.
I have my associate doctorate. I'm associated with a doctor. My mom would always tell that joke.
Me too. My BF. Yeah. So does that count? That's interesting. But yeah, they just kicked off the dashboard. So I don't know. I never get a flu vaccine, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And I have had the flu. Yeah. So maybe I should, because a couple of years ago I was down for the count for a few days, but whew.
Well, okay. Well, on to this tragic story. 2 people actually died this week while vacationing in Hawaii. Such a strange story. Both of them were swept away by the large surf into the ocean. It happened on Oahu's North Shore Monday morning, and lifeguards say the waves were 6 to 8 feet high. A lifeguard was actually out posting no swimming signs when he heard them yelling for help. And I can attest to this. My family lived on Oahu for a number of years, and you don't mess with those waves. Like, North Shore has some of the most violent waves. I mean, it's where, surfboarders go and all of that. But if you're not used to it, even the best of swimmers can get swept up by just the massiveness of the water. So
yeah.
So
I
tragic.
Remember that you lived there. Like, I think I knew this about you. That's really cool, by the way. Like, lived in Hawaii.
I mean, I can't take full credit. I vacationed to Hawaii a lot because my family was there. So I didn't actually live there. My sister did, and my brother did. But I was going to college at the time. So I was actually already in Missouri, but I would go and vacation there. And it was pretty great. You learn a lot about the culture there.
Yeah. So. Which is totally different. I've only been one time and I loved it, but it felt like a whole different world for sure. Yeah.
You want to hear another?
Like, wait, is this a state? Like, what? Because I feel like I'm in a foreign country almost. Like, even their language, like they have like their own dialect. I don't know what you call it. Like, it's obviously English, but it's just different words.
Well, it's their native tongue. Yeah.
I mean, it was fascinating and a lot of fun. But yeah, when I saw that story, I was like, oh my gosh, like, you don't think of people on vacation getting swept into the ocean, but and especially they were all adults. None of them were children. I mean, like 40s, 60s.
But they're there having the trip of a lifetime, and they probably are thinking nothing of it. So you gotta respect the water. I was gonna share the Hawaiian state fish. Can I share it? Because it's such a fun word to say. Speaking of native tongue. It's the humu humu nuku nu'u apua'a. Humu humu nuku nu'u apua'a. You got to say it really fast.
I'm impressed.
Humu humu nuku nu'u apua'a. I'm probably saying it wrong in the native tongue, but anyway.
It's funny because you could be Hawaiian. I mean, you are Native American, right?
Yeah, I'm Native American, but thank you for that. I don't know if I'd fit in there.
I'll take it. I would take it too, because they are beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes. So beautiful people.
Well, before we go, we want to let people know about our contest. Let's see. Today is Thursday. So today's the day. You've got to get registered today, aroundtheozarks.com, because we will draw this afternoon and we will announce the winner tomorrow morning. So the keyword that you need to know, Diana,
is performers. Speaking of performers, Jelly Roll was in town last night. There was a lot of people there. I got stuck in the traffic because I was speaking at Missouri State last night for a thing, and they wanted $20 for parking, and I was like, I'm just speaking over there. Do I have to pay the $20 parking? And he's like, No, get in here, kid.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I hope it was a great concert.
Yeah, there was. So yesterday morning, I was at Missouri State at like 4:40 in the morning.
Oh my word.
So, and they were already rolling in with the semi trucks, like full of their gear and equipment.
That's so
Setting up.
early.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, and I didn't know what was happening. So I'm like going, what in the world is happening? Because normally, there's like 2 people up at that hour, but there were many people like milling around, getting everything ready. And yeah, I knew that it was going to be a big deal when there were that many people at that hour of the day.
Wow. Well, performers, that's your keyword.
There you go.
Sure Jelly Roll was a great performer.
Yeah, you can win a Trent McDuffie signed jersey. He's a big deal. So check it out right now, aroundtheozarks.com. Scroll down to Branson Bowl and enter the contest. We will announce the winner tomorrow morning.
All right. Well, on that note, we wish everybody a great Friday Eve. We're almost there.
Thanks
We're
for
almost
joining
through
us.
it.
Thanks for joining me via cell phone. I don't even know if the listeners know the difference, but here we are.
Here we are. All right. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Rescue Towing, Command Family Medicine, and John's Heating and Air. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, October 17th, and once again, it's freezing outside. We've got temperatures right about the freezing point in most locations, a couple degrees below in a few areas. So I hope you covered up the sensitive plants overnight because the frost, well, it may have just done them in this morning if they were outside. Cold conditions this morning, but much like yesterday, we're going to warm up nicely. I've got some sunshine on deck for us. Our fire danger, incredibly high, though, across the Ozarks today. And that's going to be a topic of conversation, not just for us here in the Midwest, but in fact, there's critical fire danger across the country today as this dry air is in place. We have dry ground conditions, windy conditions. All of those are criteria for high fire danger, and they are combining to mean really dangerous conditions well up to our north and west. Eastern portions of Nebraska and South Dakota have those critical fire weather conditions today. Here in the Ozarks, I'll call our conditions elevated, so be very cautious. No open burning is a suggestion for us today. Watch the chains dragging off of vehicles, no cigarettes being discarded in the wrong place because a fire in these conditions could take off and get out of hand in a hurry. On the West Coast, things are a mess. There's a big area of low pressure moving in, and it means high elevation snowfall and a much colder pattern for our friends out west. There's also active rain activity in the southwestern portion of the United States today, while the East Coast is relatively calm in comparison. However, we do have some cool conditions out for the central part of the country as well as the East Coast. I already mentioned the potential for elevated fire weather conditions today. We'll call it elevated to significant for parts of the Ozarks. It will be warming up today. We'll have temperatures back up into the upper 60s, and then I have 70s that are back in the forecast tomorrow. These are really nice days to be outdoors, doing outdoor projects. The wind is not too out of control yet, but we've already been talking about the drought conditionings and how those are getting worse. The next couple of weeks are not going to help out very much. I mean, it's possible that we go a month without rainfall in the Ozarks. We've had these tiny little chances. There will be another one coming our way on Monday, but the 2-week outlook here looks dry for most and temperatures that will likely stay slightly above average for this time of the year. We do have a slight chance for rain back in my extended forecast. That happens by Monday. Even then, I only think it's about a 30% chance, and the western counties, areas west of Highway 65, will have the best opportunity for rain then. By comparison, today is nice. It'll be sunny, kind of breezy out there this afternoon with high temperatures in the upper 60s. 68 for the high temperature in Springfield. No freeze for us overnight tonight. I have a low temperature of 35. That's where we wake up on Friday morning. More sunshine for us on deck tomorrow. That's when temperatures get back into the low 70s. We'll stay in the mid 70s both Saturday and Sunday. The weekend looking dry and mostly sunny. before rain chances return for us. That happens by Monday of next week. Around the country, we've got these significantly cooler temperatures in place for the Pacific Northwest. Also, the Intermountain West is seeing a threat for some mountain snow this week. It's not out of the question that they often see that this time of the year. In October, that's when things start to shift a bit and we start to see more of that winter weather. While that's happening, we've got above average conditions for the central high plains. That's leading to some of that critical fire danger that I already mentioned to you. And then we've got this chilly mid-October air mass taking place for the central United States, as well as the East Coast, allowing for slightly cooler than normal temperatures for both of us. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. It was a food question for you again yesterday. What is the most frequently ordered item of food in the USA? Do you think it was A, grilled cheese, B, fried chicken, C, pizza, or D, a cheeseburger? While all of these are fantastic options, the one that comes up most frequently is fried chicken. And according to the article I read, they chose fried chicken because fried chicken is actually incorporated to a lot of different styles of dishes. So it's offered at more restaurants in the United States than other places. Although, here in the USA, you can go to an Italian restaurant and get some chicken fingers. You can get chicken fingers everywhere pretty much. The number one food item that was not on the list, French fries. So now you know. Fried chicken and French fries sounds pretty good to me. Congrats if B was your guess. All right, it's time for the question for tomorrow. I'll have the answer to this one early tomorrow morning, and you can go enter your guess on the website. The fingerprints of which animal extremely resemble human fingerprints? Which one do you think? A chimp, B, a koala, C, a lemur, or D, a gorilla? You can submit your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Head on over to the website. While you're there, we've got all the weather information you need up to the minute all day long. Thank you so much for listening this morning to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. And thanks to our sponsors, John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Rescue Towing. Have a great one. We'll chat again tomorrow.